I wanted to create something for my people, I would say.
Like this technology's been getting better and better over time, but like it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going up.
On one hand, you are observing that you start to be back, but on the other hand, you are convincing yourself that you are back also.
NFTs, in my opinion, are the best opportunity for disrupting every single industry out there right now.
With NFTs, I discovered culture, and then it changed, my vision.
All the applications that could come from the blockchain, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this is a game changer.
If all these people that with so much different background go together, it means that something happening there. Come on!
Yes!
Hello, GM, dzień dobry. My name is Johnny, and today with me is M. Carbon. Hi, Michael.
GM. And and you are watching NFT Poland, Polish first contact platform for everything, NFT and Web3.
Exactly. You didn't see that coming, did you? The Polish dzień dobry.
No.
We are very excited about today's interview because we have today an amazing team from Non Fungible Conference. So hello, John. Hello, Jonathan. How are you guys?
Hey guys, how are you? Super happy to be with you.
Very, very grateful to be here. Love what you guys are doing, and we're excited to talk about our favorite conference.
Yeah, couldn't said it better. So let me introduce you real quick.
Pleasure to hear that.
Let me introduce you real quick. John Karp, founder of Non Fungible Conference, co-editor of NFT Morning, and the president of NFT Factory Paris. And also, last but not least, Jonathon Button, head of partnerships at Non Fungible Conference, founder of Light Out of the Box and Button Up LLC. Is that correct, guys? Yeah.
That is perfect.
Exactly. It's
All
a
right.
good start.
So the main theme of NFC is we are so back. And before we delve into this question, are we really back? As for now, I wanted to ask you guys like a starter question, very important one. So think about the answer real good. Have you ever been to Poland?
I've been here. I've been here, but only for 2 days. Only for 2 days.
That's good.
And I visited Warsaw, actually.
Yeah.
Or it was Krakow. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Did you enjoy it?
It was Krakow, actually. I've been there only for 2 days, so I don't, and I was a kid, so I don't remember so much. But for sure, I will be back.
Yeah. That would be amazing. How about you, Jonathan?
Well, it is on my bucket list. My wife and I love to travel a lot, as both of you know, but as you can tell, we kind of are sun chasers. So we're often looking for the warmth. And so there's only one time a year that I'm going to be coming to Poland, but trust me, it is on my bucket list. I definitely will be there. And I can't wait to try all the different foods. That's probably the one thing that I'm most excited about.
Okay, awesome. So it's recorded, so it's official, and we'll hold on to your words.
For sure.
I think.
Yeah, the digital footprint goes really hard with this one. So see you very soon in Poland. You gotta taste some pierogies and some Polish vodka, of course. Yeah. So see you in Warsaw probably
at summer. So guys, Non Fungible Conference, right? I know you probably talk a lot about the origin story, how whole initiative began. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your background and you as creators and entrepreneurs and everything around it. Because I would like our viewers to get you know a little bit better and to see like the faces behind the company. So let me start with you, John, if that's all right. I know that you've been in the event industry for quite some time and you speak very passionately about NFTs itself. So I'm wondering what part of the NFT culture or technology really gotten into you that, got you into the rabbit hole that you decided to create NFT themed conference?
Really? I will tell my story for 30 minutes from now. So it's like, as you mentioned, I'm very passionate about the space and I'm very passionate about events, actually. I've been spending all my life in the event world. on my life, actually. I started in 2010, 2011. I co-founded a company called Be My App, and known in the US as a hackathon.com. And basically, this company was kind of one of the first to do hackathons as an agency. So we've been working for all the key corporate. At this moment, it was really early. So it was like for Google, for Intel, for Samsung, for Nokia, for a lot of companies, who wanted to promote their technologies to developers. And so we started to organize an event for them, to promote their technologies. And then we've been developing this a bit more to any kind of company. So basically kind of invented the concept that even if you're not a developer, you can be part of a hackathon. And so then it was a way for us to concept to corporate like, LVMH, like pharmaceutical industry, like a bank, any kind of thing like this. It was super corporate. I love that. We've been organizing more than 1,000 events like this. And I'm still a happy shareholder of the company right now. And my partner, Cyril, hi, if you see, is based in San Francisco and still going ahead, with this exciting stuff, because for me, I love this kind of events, to be honest. And so I love events moreover. And so when COVID came, I was pretty sad. At this moment, this is exactly the moment where even if I knew the blockchain, I owned some Ethereums, and I organized maybe 20 events related to the blockchain. When you do a hackathon, of course, it's part of the job. You have AI, blockchain, and immersive technologies, and it's always the same. Basically, I knew that, but I was okay. It was just a technology. And then with NFTs, I discovered culture. And then it changed, my vision on everything like this. Before that, for me, it was great. But it was, on one hand, very, very strong in terms of cryptography. And so I had a lot of friend cryptographists. And I said, okay, that's great. Yeah, I understand. A lot of tech people, a lot of financial and legal people that were very interested by that, by the concept. Yeah, I really fall into the rabbit hole when I realized that culture was totally transformed thanks to that. And it started with art, actually.
Okay.
Fine art, especially. It started also to be transparent with you. It was the moment of the COVID, and I saw my Ethereum starting to raise, and I said, okay, what can I do with this Ethereum also? And so I did, and I said, okay, you have art, and you have digital artists, and we have the chance right now to discover some people who are named Xcopy, Beeple, Rafik Anadol, Pac. I love Pac also, actually. I love that also. Hey, come on.
There we go.
Good answer.
That's my man.
No, that's super cool. So now I would, I will never stop with this now. Come on.
Yes. See, Johnny,
that's the energy.
Because on the backstage, we were talking about like, wait a second, this guy is actually doing daily podcasts, like from Monday to Friday. This is something we do as well. I'm pretty sure we have to be similar from some specific side. There we go. This is something I do on a daily basis, every single day.
Exactly. That's super cool.
I find it really interesting how, like, now I understand the meaning of the word passion, like from your biography, if I can say that. Definitely listening to you is you can easily tell, like, you love what you do.
Yeah, no, it was, no, but to be honest, it was also, at the very beginning, it was for money also. And, because I say, okay, these people, these artists that I'm mentioning, I realize that for a few $100s or maybe a few $1000s for some of them, or maybe even a bit more for some of them, but it's okay. You are buying a future Picasso at this price. And, and you have the chance, when you think, my father-in-law, he's dead now, but he was an artist also. And he was contemporary with Picasso and Dali. Okay. So he knew them. And it's a moment, where you're living with these people. You are in the same space than them. And, everybody knows, I strongly believe that, some of these artists, will be in museums in a few years, will be in book of history. That in 30 years from now, people maybe will know even more ex-copy than Warhol,
Yeah.
And so maybe not. It could happen, it could happen. And so yeah, but I'm pretty sure that some of them will be in history. I believe that CryptoPunks will be in history book and art books and will stay as, one of the strongest art form that has been created, in the early 21st century. So that's something, that's something. And so this was my starting point, collecting and saying that maybe in 10 years, they will get more value. It happened faster than expected because so that's what so when it started booming, actually I started my daily podcast like you guys. So it's when we started on Clubhouse, and it was the momentum, where a lot of people were on Clubhouse. And so we started to do on Clubhouse in French called the NFT Morning.
Yeah.
Actually, we started this podcast with my friend Remy, who was totally newbie into the space and discovered NFTs like maybe 3 or 4 months before. And he was just excited, said, John, let's do something. Let's create a business. Let's create a PFP collection. Let's do something. And so I said, okay, let's start with the podcast. And so it was fun because it was like 1 week before the Beeple sale.
Yeah.
And so the first episode was basically about Beeple and about this Beeple sale that will happen. And we were playing about betting for how much it would sell this artwork, basically. And so, yeah, my friend Remy was saying, yeah, maybe for 8-9 million. I was saying plus 10 million, but I didn't know it was just that. And so I was right in a way. But no, it was pretty fun. And so it was a good momentum. It was exactly, the momentum where basically, 1 week later, everybody would be interested by NFTs. And so it was basically the perfect momentum to onboard a lot of people. And so it started step by step. The first podcast, it was on Clubhouse. We were 3 people. The second one, 4 people. And now, we've been doing more than 1 million downloads, last year for the podcast. We started a community. This is really what we believe, community. And we onboarded a lot of new people, artists, entrepreneurs, collectors, investors, anyone interested by this new industry. And at this moment, I think it's like you guys, you had no content in French. So the only way, to discover NFTs in France was with our podcast, basically.
Yeah.
And in the same time, we wrote a book also, a traditional book to explain NFTs, to people. And I actually it's still pretty relevant, even if it was like 3 years ago. And so it was a good start. It was a good start. And from that, we had a community. And from this community, we started to do some meetups because this was my culture, basically organizing. When you organize developers events and stuff like that, you organize meetups. And so we organized like a non fungible meetup. The first one was in Paris, and then the second one in Paris, and then some other cities. And every time it was packed. That was one thing. And on the other hand, I started to go to some events. At this moment, most of the events were great, but very builders oriented. I remember that in 2021, I was at ETHCC.
Yeah.
I love the organizers. It's a great event. If you've never been there, you should go to Brussels this year, because it's not in Paris this year. It's going to be in Brussels in July. You should go to ETHCC because for me, at least in Europe, the best Ethereum event for sure. And
Jonathan already shared it to us, so
I was about to say the same thing.
it's huge. Actually, it's super huge. But when I was there, I say, okay, that's great. But most of the people I'm chatting with, we are not talking the same language. And that was something. It was like when I was saying NFTs, people were talking about protocols. And about DeFi, we could believe that they are kind of cousins, but it was not really, most of the people were saying, oh yeah, NFTs, they were saying a bit. I had the feeling that people were talking about NFTs like normies are talking about cryptos. Oh yeah, the technology is cool, but JPEG, it's pretty scammy.
Yeah.
So that's really And so I said, okay, yeah. At this moment, I realized that I wanted to create something for my people, I would say, for people from the same generation, maybe, from the same, I'm not talking about age because as you can see, I'm not 20 years old, but it's, generation of people who's been onboarded with NFTs who are really kind of NFT maximalists.
Yeah.
And that are pretty strong into this stuff. This is how I came, about thinking about Non Fungible Conference with the idea of doing something very strong on the cultural aspect of NFTs. And so art, fashion, gaming, PFP culture. So doing this in a festival style event was really the idea. And this is why actually, even if I live in Paris, and I love Paris, I didn't want to do it in Paris. Maybe it's also my event background. So I've been used to organize events whenever in the world, even if I don't know the city. And, I didn't know Lisbon so much. I've been once, before that, it was like Krakow. I've been only for 2 days. And, and I was just chatting with people and say, where do you think I should do the event? I had my specification. I wanted to be in the south. I wanted to be in a city with the sea that is not far, with good cultural history, with good food, good parties, good feeling, where you have some good communities. And I've been chatting Barcelona, maybe something like this, maybe other cities, a source of France. After doing my benchmark, I realized that Lisbon was the best fit. I realized that, the city that I didn't know, I did go for the second time when I decided to organize the event, was really, really, really interesting because it's matching everything. And on top of it, you have a super strong crypto community.
Mm-hmm.
and you have a lot of tech event happening there. The Web Summit, for example, you have a strong tech event culture, and you have a strong art culture. Actually, a lot of artists, moved from Berlin to Lisbon, the last 10 years. And so it became, and you have this nomad culture where a lot of people are living there. So all of this together created a good match. And also, they are great in English, and that's important. And so we decided to do this event in Lisbon, Portugal, with this idea of doing what we like to do, bringing the good people, because this is what makes a good event, and trying to reinvent the way an event should be at the Web3 age. I don't want to be, sometimes when people say that, it's a bit bullshit. So, we can talk a bit more about it after, but it's really my stuff. If it looks, and, it's, to be honest, it's my main default also, to something that already exists, I get bored. Mm-hmm. And so, and it's an issue sometimes, but you know what it is, guys, you are doing a daily podcast,
I know exactly what it is.
If someone is coming 100%. Here and say, oh yeah, we are creating this new, project, it's super cool, we'll do a pre-sale, and you can be on the allo list, and it's a 10K collection of this stuff, and you will have a lot of utility, but
paid merch, black hoodies, kind of vibes.
Okay, and but you are looking for something fresh, I would say.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you cannot. The same for you when you do a podcast, and if you feel like the guest that will come will explain the same story that the previous guest that you have, then we know that podcast is not about really making money; it's about passion. So you say, okay, you stop this if it's not interesting. But at the end of the day, the idea was really to do something fresh.
John, this is, I gotta say, I find it incredibly fascinating how many similarities I found in your in what you just said, like starting from the art point through the similarities and differences between NFT and crypto audiences. There are so many things that I want to stop by. So maybe starting from the beginning, I fully get where you're coming from regarding the art, because definitely right now we're hitting the point where there is a huge need for, I would say, a new storage of value in terms of new media, how we reach out to people, how we hit their kind of overstimulated minds already. So everything that's interactive, everything that's immersive, if I can say that, this is the new shit, right? And
definitely the new shit.
Yeah, and all the NFT stuff, all of that comes just fits in the box just right. Yeah, and there is a few more questions that I would like to ask, but I think I would really like to hear one thing from Jonathan, because John, you said you mentioned the differences between NFTs and crypto, and I wonder what's your point of view on that, Jonathan? Like, in your opinion, how would you differ those communities? And maybe this is something that got you into NFTs as well instead of crypto. Like, if you could just kind of extend it by your onboarding story, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I think a lot of us, we all got into NFTs rooted from crypto. So most people, we got the orange background. Bitcoin was the one that kind of helped us understand what is possible with the blockchain. But then for me personally, when I was finishing up my PhD with my wife, we had a guest speaker, an economist who came, and he wrote the book Life After Google. And he presented it to us with the idea that the best chance of seeing Google get disrupted is with blockchain technology, with the things that can be built on top of that. And once I kind of like read into it and learned about all the applications that could come from the blockchain, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this is a game changer. And I think I want to like lean into this a little bit more. And so we really decided that we were going to go all in on this in 2021. It was right around the same time John was talking about when the $69 million Beeple piece went for sale. And they put a call to action out looking for some individuals that wanted to help educate others on crypto as well as non-fungible tokens. And so I jumped at the opportunity. It was funded by Metacoven through the Metapurse Fund. And we basically got paid crypto to kind of learn about it and then create content and then share that with others. And so that's kind of how I like dove right into it. And I was like, oh my gosh, the possibilities that you could do with NFTs that you can't do with things in the real world. That's when my mind was like all about it and extremely excited about it. So everything from having transaction go through, I've sold things on eBay, but then you got to deal with the shipping. You got to store the item. I don't want to deal with that. I'm a digital nomad. That's the last thing I want to deal with. To even more complex ideas where you have an art piece, and with that art piece, if you get two of them, you can burn that to get a new, more rare art piece. Like in the most simple terms, like that is fascinating. That will not ever happen in the real world. There's no artist that's going to say, bring all these pieces that I've put together, we'll light a fire, and then I'll give you something else. That doesn't happen. And that kind of stuff is so interesting and exciting to me. And every single, not even every month, every couple of weeks, we're seeing a new idea or something else that's being plausible out of this. And so I'm strapped in on this roller coaster. I've been going to a lot of different conferences all around the world because I want to see what the possibilities are, as well as connect with my people. It is a very different group of individuals that are into the Web3 NFT space than those who are into the dev stuff. Love them. I think we all love each other for sure. Yeah. But there's something really special where you feel like a bond, almost as if you've been friends for a while, and you can have such a higher level conversation that just makes that connection that much deeper. And so NFT conferences are like my favorite. I'm all about the culture, whether it's music, art. There's so many different ranges. NFTs, in my opinion, are the best opportunity for disrupting every single industry out there right now. Not fungible tokens, but non-fungible tokens can really make that kind of a change. And so because of that, I'm all in on it. And I'm all in on the future of the non-fungible conference too.
Thumbs up from John. Good answer. Well, I don't have such I don't have such emojis. I'm feeling left out.
I fully agree with everything you said, and your story is very exciting as well. I will add that Web3 is a pretty chaotic space, right? So it's something we hear day by day. And what comes to my mind straight away is you have a really specific approach when it comes to your conference. In one of your spaces, you said that you kind of would like the NFC to be like anything but corporate event, if I can put it this way. How it is like to even organize such a thing? Like, what's your approach to make NFC anything but a corporate event? And where do you start? Like,
wow,
tough one.
Tough one.
That's a great question. I'm excited for John.
What is very, very tough and what is very, very complex is that, it's a real creative, iterative process.
Yeah.
And it's really, really hard, John can testify that, even if he's not on the production side. But it's really hard for my production team because right now, they have a map about something that is defined. But what they don't know is that I will change everything because I feel like we have something new, super cool that I want to do. And so I will change everything to make it happen, Don't tell them.
You just got to feed them with that brush.
So what I mean is that my overall feeling, and this is why I am in Web3. I am in, my personal story was really to leave the corporate world to do something different. I've been working with all the Fortune 500 companies. That's nice. But, after like 12 years, I was tired of bullshit. It's good, bullshit is good, but, being like explaining technology, starting, working on the event, making compromises, coming with great ideas that will never be done because your client is really conservative or don't get it or don't want it because he's N+1, don't want to do it or whatever. And so, so for me, it was really, doing what I always wanted to do on one hand. And so be creative in terms of scenography, in terms of setup, in terms of area. But then, what is really important is people. I think this is the most important thing when you do an event, which people you want to have.
Yeah.
And, because when you have the good people, whatever you can do, you will have a good vibe. And how to create a vibe.
For sure.
What makes Burning Man, or maybe for some people, South by Southwest, or any other thing like this, cool. My wish, is to have this kind of, raising new cultural movement spirit. I had the chance, to have one guy from Ledger who used to work for Apple, and told me when he came at the NFC last year, when I had this feeling of the first keynote by Steve Jobs for WWC. I think it was the Apple Developer Convention. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple in 97 or something like this. And it was the same feeling where, at the moment where he started to do something and about to launch the iPod, iPhone, iPad, whatever. And so, we try to, we try to do something. And what I try to do is experiment, taking risk. And this is the thing, we try every time. When we created, for example, it's one thing, but it's always starting from talk and discussions. For example, the first year, we've been exhibiting art like everybody's doing with Canvas. It was cool at this moment, 3 years ago to have Canvas. But, even when we exhibit in Canvas, we try to have scenography and stuff like that, not have them on the stand and that's it. But then, you start to chat with people and you realize that exhibiting into Canvas is really copying what museums are doing. They have Canvas that is related to the fact that it's a print or that it's a paint. So they have to do it like this. But, you are playing with digital. So you can play with something very small or something very huge. And so it was the first thing, And the second thing was that people in the space, I realize that I do it a lot, but some people in the space were anonymous. And some of the most interesting people in the space were anonymous. And so, what does it mean to have them coming to a physical event But then, just doing like a Zoom. And so you have like 500 people in a room and someone chatting in a Zoom. For me, the experience is okay, why not? But, in this case, I can be at home and be in a Twitter space and that's it,
Yeah.
And so I was saying, okay. And so all of this, yeah, but, it's all about the experience. And so all the thing was how to make people live the art. And this is how we came up with this concept of blind room, where we created a huge main stage that is an immersive room. So you have like 4 walls, 7-meter high all around, plus some LED screens. And we create this to exhibit. And we say, okay, you can play with the space, but you can play with time also. It means that you don't have, like you have in a lot of museums right now, immersive room, and you have the show, it's 10 minutes, you sit on a bank, okay, it was nice, thank you, goodbye, and next. Then, we say, okay, you can think about doing, a festival. And the festival is like a music festival where every 15 minutes, a new show is happening. Instead of having a band, you have a show happening. It could be like an artist creating an art show, that happened for 15 minutes to exhibit, or a comparison, Cosmo did this last year, exhibition with some Fidenza, comparing the Renaissance and the digital Renaissance and having all of these pieces, from Sam Spratt and from Tyler Hobbs and from Da Vinci and all the story for 10 minutes. Or you have some live minting experiences. You have some people playing games on huge screens. You have then, a party happening there. You have live performances. So this is something, and it was kind of a new standard, I would say. Yeah. This year we say, okay, it was nice, but we can try to do better. And so we are bringing, it's a live event. It's physical, it's material. And all the question, I have is, how do you materialize the digital into the physical world? And it's all the question. And so this is why this year, on top of this digital show and this immersive room, we will have also inside of the room immersive shows happening. And when I say immersive shows, it's immersive theater, immersive poetry, immersive dance. So live art performers that on top of the digital setup will do also live performances. And so, people will experience really the thing that not only, viewing, sing and say it's nice, really have a show that they can enjoy. And it will happen for the art, but it will happen also for the gaming, it will happen for the fashion, for all the topic, the cultural topic that you can live during the event. And so, that's what one example, even if we have a lot of examples like this, how to try to innovate as an event organizer and always try to, even today I'm changing stuff, trying to improve, trying to do things, trying to bring new thing on the plate, because we are in the space where everything is going fast. So, now we are like 2 months from the event, but this is real the moment where now we are really working on the content, because now, it's becoming interesting. And so it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of work, but it's super exciting.
Amazing. So the thought process, is it like you are taking the already known ideas? For example, let's have anonymous speaker at the conference. The bad side is he's talking on Zoom. So, okay, how do we make it more innovative? Or, okay, so we are making this innovative idea and let's try to figure out how to make it possible. Yeah.
Most of the time, it's starting from issues.
Okay.
Pain point, I would say. Having just a big stage, 5 people doing a panel. Okay, sometimes it's cool, and we have also some panels, but it could not be just the key piece of your show. How to try to find new ways. So this is the main question. And so, how to play with anonymous people is one game. How to display art is one other game. How to not just display art, because when you display art, most of the time people are walking around and say, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, when you are busy, when you are in an event, you just go here, you do a selfie and you leave, basically. And so, how you do something that is, more impactful. I don't say that we are doing everything great, but I say that every time we take risk.
speaking about the impact, because I believe this is an important word. What type of impact and maybe in general, what impact do huge conferences and events such as yours actually have on our industry, like market and communities? Like,
it's a super good question. It's a super good question. And it's a really hard question because what is complex, when you organize these kind of things, you always think about return on investment first. And return on investment for people who are coming to the event, return on investment for your sponsors, return on investment for your speakers, even if that they are spending time on it. So it's, you need to create added value for people. And on one hand, we are working on return on investment because on one hand, we have collectors and artists or investors and startups or like basically, games and players. We have this first layer of KPIs that we're working on. And it's good and it's visible. But I really believe that what is even more important is the invisible part, or, it's like the hidden part of the iceberg. Basically, I've been doing events for 10 years. So I see this, you have no other way to create relationship with people that you will work with. You can meet some people, of course, on Discord, on Twitter. Sometimes you can collaborate. But, things are getting so faster when you meet in real. And I have, from now, it's only like 2 years later, a lot of people, I realized they work together because they met at NFC last year or the year before. And, it's all about this, people are meeting and, companies are meeting, corporate are meeting agencies, or like artists are meeting collectors, or like, and, it's not only meeting and buying. It's a long-term thing, when an artist meets a collector, he's coming in his pool of artists that the artists want to support and sponsorize. And now we create this relationship where we have like big collectors paying ticket to artists to come to the event also. And we have the same, done with some key movement, cultural, on all the different area. And so that's super interesting because I really believe, I will not just say just NFC, but, you have 3-4 key events in the world, in the NFT world, where you want to go. And I believe these events are bringing something in the space.
And I'm very curious about your point of view, Jonathan, because in your life, there is lots of education and traveling. And I'm very curious, what do you think about the impact of such events in our industry?
I want to emphasize what John's saying is like, he pursues this conference in a format that is pushing it forward. I can't tell you how every single meeting we have, he's got a new radical idea that is not easy, that may not have a massive ROI on it, but it's something that's never been done. And like one of the like cleanest and most like obvious one that I see, and I go to a lot of Web3 NFT conferences, is there's only one conference that I know of that truly has an NFT as a ticket and embraces the technology of that being non-fungible token and how you can utilize that for future ongoing rewards. And I've never seen anyone, it's not easy to implement, and it makes it a lot more difficult in certain ways. But by doing this, it not only shows what other NFT or Web3 conferences can do, but it also shows the bigger grand scheme of things. Like, why can't sports arenas use a non-fungible token as a ticket to enter? And then you have that, because back in the day, if you go to the World Cup in the 80s, if you still have that ticket, that will sell for solid money on eBay. And there's no utility with it besides it's an amazing collectible. But with John's, he brings in not just like newbie artists, but established artists to actually like create the art. So you get that as a collectible, but it also is redeemable for entry into the next year's, or who knows, it might be something for like a free drink. He comes up with these ideas out of nowhere, and then it's like, all right, we got to go and try to make it happen. So utilizing those, like with that mindset and finding little gaps where those can be like pursued is exciting. It makes us one of the first and oftentimes one of the most innovative. And I think that we'll see a lot of that coming with what we've got planned coming this year. But this could be something that in 10 years from now, everyone's like, every conference ticket is a non-fungible token. And it's like, well, let's go historically to what was the very first. And that would be pretty cool if it's the NFC ticket for the very first year. So we'll see.
Very interesting point of view. So setting an example, as I would say, about
setting an example. Yeah, pushing it forward as far as it can possibly go.
Pushing the
like he said, he wants to change it all. And it's literally, he's texting me last night and he's got like this radical idea, but it's like, it's something within him that he wants to pursue because this space moves that quickly. And you guys know better than anyone, like you got to be on it. 1 week you miss out on it, that's like months. And so when something's happening, we're very correlated with the market, how NFC runs. When something's moving like that, you want to be able to take advantage of that opportunity, bring more people. The more people that come together, the more momentum we get for everyone. And that, to me, is the significant impact that Non-Fungible Conference can make.
Amazing.
Lovely.
Also, I'm very curious about one topic. So you, like, no, without the question, distinguish yourself among the Web3 events, conferences, and that's like the amazing strength of Non-Fungible Conference, all of the things that you guys mentioned. So being innovative, disrupt the space, being anything but the corporate event. But I'm also very curious about what do you think are like the biggest challenges and obstacles in attracting the attention to the NFTs itself, because Non-Fungible Conference is NFT themed conference, as I may say. And it's one thing to gather attention to the event, and another thing to gather attention to the NFT community, which we already established is quite different from the overall crypto or Web3 community. So I'm very curious about your point of view about so-called mass adoption. I don't know if the word is like relevant.
Our favorite word.
Yeah, I think it's a big topic, and I am working a lot on this topic because also I've been opening, I've been working in physical world in Paris with this gallery called NFT Factory. Basically, that is also with the main objective is onboarding, people into NFTs, and we onboarded about 70,000 people that had no idea about what NFTs. When they onboarded, at least, they had a strong work. Yeah, they had a workshop to know what it is. We try things also. Art, fashion, gaming are not Web3 topic. It's cultural topic. So then, when we talk about it, then, we working to bring people from the Web2 world. I will give an example. I have this kind of honeypot strategy, I would say, that we are trying also this year, especially on gaming. We have one dedicated area for gaming and one stage dedicated to gaming. What we're doing now is doing partnership with some Web2 brand to organize actually Web2 gaming tournament. When I say Web2 gaming, for example, we have this football club, Benfica Lisbon. They are a partner of the event. They will have a booth area and they will host for 2-day game tournament. And you will be able to have some challenges. They will bring some professional esports player and you can measure yourself with these people. And also they will have some Web3 announcements related to that also. And we have more football club that will come and join to do some tournament, to do some show games, to bring, these Web2 people to the event. And in bring them, you will have also some Counter-Strike tournament where they can come and, they will be able to bet with a special token of a partner and the winner take all, something like this. Yeah. And so it's, we try to find ways to say, okay, look, so it's Counter-Strike, it's whatever. And so people can come and discover. And then when they're here, they can discover Web3 gaming with the Grapes or the Sandbox or like Animal Cat Game or whatever, is a partner of the event. It's one angle, and we try to have the same strategy, with art by bringing physical exhibitions, physical artists, And also, to be honest, when you do this kind of immersive shows, it's also to convince people that it's real art. It's not just a JPEG. When you see this, you feel it. And I like the story of my mother-in-law. She was, for the first time when she saw a show, she told me, okay, I understand now that what you're doing is art. And so this is the idea. I don't say it's easy. And to be honest, our crowd is still mainly Web3 people.
Yeah.
But this is the effort we are doing every year to, it will come step by step. On the other hand, time is playing for us. Every year, new generation of people will come into the crypto world and discover NFTs. And this is why also we are working to bring also crypto people to NFTs by hosting events inside the event. And when I say events inside of the event, this year we will have a conference inside Non Fungible Conference called the MemeCon. That is the first conference, first conference dedicated to the meme culture and to meme coins. Because, you have a big momentum with that. And so when I met their team like 6 months ago, they told me that they wanted to do it. I said, let's do it together, and I will allocate you all the resources so you can organize this event. And, there are really, really, really cool speakers and things cooking, into this area. So that's, one example. The same example, if technically, there are not NFTs, ordinals are very important. And for me, they are part of this NFT movement. And so this is why, we have strong partnership also with some partners that will organize also event inside NFC related to ordinals. So, John, I know you're smiling. Because it's kind of the new thing that, I just know it yet. So that's the thing. So
imagine if Jonathan doesn't know anything about the idea yet, and he just saying that like, "Oh yeah, Jonathan, it's coming."
He texted me last night and said he has this idea, and I said, "This is a good idea." Like, and now that it's recorded, I'm like, "All right, we're doing it."
It's official.
It's official.
It's not 100% confirmed, but it's on the very good way so far.
We're going to have a significant amount of people that are builders and artists in the ordinal ecosystem, as it is. They are non-fungible tokens on the most secure, most known blockchain by all means. And so it's definitely something like you said, when those kind of opportunities come up, we got to bring them in. Last year, there was no ordinals. So it's like, this is a brand new idea, and I can't wait because I've been studying up on them. I'm actively participating in them, and it's a whole new world of opportunity for those who are passionate about what non-fungible tokens can do. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited also.
Now we are excited.
Too.
Yeah,
we are all excited. I really like how you put that. You emphasize that culture, John. You emphasize that cultural meaning of like Web3 music, Web3 art, Web3 gaming. Like all of that is culture in its like itself. And it was your mom, yes, that said that what you do is art. It's beautiful, and I fully agree with that. How about you, Jonathan? I want to ask you, like, what is it you think that you do regarding like the NFC? Like, how do you perceive what you do?
Well, the truth is, I try to not talk about this with my family, or else they think I'm just a lunatic when I tell them that I just bought into some meme token that's, a picture of a frog or something. Yeah. So I try to avoid it, but I really do think like that we are at the very, very inkling of like the seedling of something that's going to sprout. And there will be a time where my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, they will have NFTs and they just won't know that they have them. And in this time right now, we get to, whether we're actively building, and I would say like that's the ecosystem that I'm all about, is like I want to be in that group of people who are creating that beautiful tree that is going to be used by everyone at some point in time. And I am obviously I'm clearly bullish on this, but like it's real. Like this is the best solution that we've had, and it's been like this technology has been getting better and better over time. but like it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going up. Like it's really, really exciting to be a part of it. But my new top signals, though, to emphasize like my family thing, is like when my parents or aunts and uncles give me a call and they say, "Hey, I heard NFTs are down 95%." That's when I need to buy everything.
Finally worthless. Yeah.
And now I'm happy to say they're all hitting me up and they're like, "Hey, what do I do? Like, how do I get my wallet reactivated?" I'm like, "Uh-oh, this isn't a top signal, but I know what a bottom signal
Jonathan, is. What's up with the fly?"
Yeah, you want to mint it? It's a good deal. So it's fun. It's fun to be that person that like kind of helps like guide it to the direction that we want. And I think like there's just so much opportunity in being in this, but it is a wild roller coaster and it does require attention on it all the freaking time. But if you can stay on it, like follow that path, you really have the opportunity to like build something meaningful that will be looked back in time as like, whoa, I can't believe like, I mean, we still say like, I can't believe people got CryptoPunks for like a couple bucks. We're still in this time right now. Like we're literally experiencing those types of moments happening all the time, every day. But it's the ones that are sticking around and like actively looking and then pursuing and building in sync with it. Those are the ones that are going to be the ones that, you know, my aunt and uncle are going to be like, I can't believe that my nephew, he was doing something. I just ignored him the whole time. So I'm excited to be on that innovative building journey. But anyone who's building something authentically with meaning, I'm gonna try to work with them.
Sure, fully understandable. I feel like the title of the whole interview should be "We are excited."
We're just excited.
We're here, just building. So we are excited. I'm taking my girlfriend to the conference. That will be her kind of an intro into the Web3 world. Everything she's heard about NFTs is what I've told her. That's about it. I wondered, how would you convince, well, maybe not even convince, but more like attract someone from outside the Web3 to come to the conference, or more like, as your website says, expect the unexpectable. What she can expect?
Surprise. No, I think
there you go. You didn't expect this one coming.
Yeah. No, but I believe this is always the thing that is really complex, you know, to bring new people. Before everybody was talking about Burning Man, a lot of people were saying, "What the hell are you doing in the middle of the desert?"
Yeah.
With some hippies, you know. And then everybody wanted to go there. And so, you know, it's always the same thing. You know, really important to say, yeah, it's part of a cultural movement. You will be with passionate people who are creating the world of tomorrow. And, you know, what is interesting into this world, it's everything except uniform. And, you know, this is what makes it super interesting, you know, having former artists, former great financial people, former like educator, people coming from, you know, the dance industry, from the drawing industry, some geniuses from, you know, when I see even the speakers coming, you know, on one hand, you know, you have DK Motion coming from South Korea, who's been doing animation with this video game background. And, you know, when I see Lawrence Fuller and Vincent Donforio, you know, really, we've been talking about it, you know, they are really in this Hollywood, LA movie, or, you know, movie stuff and all this movie industry. And, you know, they're comparing this Web3 event with, you know, some LA movie star stuff. And on the other hand, you know, you have like, yeah, super, you know, people like, you know, Animoca people creating games with really strong financial or gaming background. And on the other hand, it's the fashion industry and people coming from brands that are totally different. If all these people that with so much different background go together, it means that something happening there. And so, you know, I don't have the clear answer about what's happening there. But, you know, you should be curious and try to figure out what's going on.
I think being curious, it's a very important like thing to have.
Part of living.
Part of living, yeah. It may take you to some of the most amazing places. So fully agree on that.
Yeah, you know, I really believe that, you know, all the point for me is event are bringing you from somewhere to somewhere else. It's all about, it's always been life learning, acceleration, fast learning.
Yeah.
Maybe about people, maybe about some hard skills, but also, most of the time about yourself. And I think this is what's interesting.
I just want to say, you got to bring your girlfriend to the main stage when it's the immersive room and like an art gallery is going on, when everyone's just standing there and kind of spinning around trying to like keep up with what the artist created. That's the moment where they're going to realize that, one, this is real art, and yes, this is the way that digital art is collected through this platform, through this format. And then two, they're going to it's an experience, and you don't get those types of experiences at normal conferences. You get the typical one.
Exactly.
Where you're getting people who are having high level conversations, more on a technical side, answering questions that you can't find on Discord. But for the people who are brand new that don't know who these artists are, once they kind of go in there and they see and enjoy it, almost like they're going to a movie, but they're in the movie. I mean, this is the closest that you get to being in the metaverse. That's where it really shifts their mind. Oh, wow, I actually felt some type of emotion that connected me on a deeper level to what you all are building. And that's what gets them, there's a term crypto curious, but that's what gets them non fungible token curious, where it's oh, who are these artists? And then all of a sudden they're having those higher level conversations with us. And so bring all your newbie friends. We want to introduce you to our world.
Bring them all.
Yeah.
And I would think I would add on top of that is that the experience itself, but I think also the opportunity that you can share it with others. It's one thing to experience, to have Apple Vision Pro set and have this immersive experience, but also to share it with others, in the physical space, and you can feel the energy from the crowd. I think that's also a very important factor of such gatherings.
What I gotta add on top of that is, I believe it's also very important how we experience those things for the first time, right? And I'm still feeling pretty sad how some conferences just put random, if I can put it in this way, random art on some random screen in some random corner, and they are yep, that's
art exhibition check.
This is how it works. This is what our industry is all about. And then I think about your perspective, your approach. It is a completely different experience. So for the new person coming into the industry, into the space, I believe it's very important to experience it for the first time from this side, just this way.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because that's the way that inspires. That's the way that makes you understand, as John said, makes you understand that this is a movement kind of a thing, if I can put it this way. And and NFTs are definitely not dead.
Not. And, just the beginning, and you will see in 2024. I spent all my last week buying new NFTs. I cannot say more. And Ethereum NFTs, old school.
Which ones? Which ones?
Was you smarter?
No, I think everything into AI. So far for me, it's still, I remember that in 2021 you had this kind of art block summer, and I believe into an AI summer. But maybe I'm wrong. But I believe that everything related to fellowship or brain drop should be followed more closely. Just one take, but
taking notes.
Taking notes, lessons.
Gotta go look at your wallet.
Study.
We need to study some moves. All right. Circling back to the first question I've asked at the beginning of this interview, that the main theme of Non Fungible Conference is we are so back. So I think with all of that said today, are we back? Are we really back, in your opinion?
I really believe, this is why I like this sentence, because on one hand, you are observing that you start to be back, but on the other hand, you are convincing yourself that you are back also. And we are exactly at this moment, I believe, and it's also what is interesting. We are, but we have still some doubts. because we say, okay, we're back. We have some factual things that make you feel like you are back. Bitcoin ATH. That's something. It's the first time it's happening for the last 3 years. So that's something. Crypto coming like this, that's something. Of course, you have if you just do a crypto people analysis, you see all the checks that are green to announce that it's going to happen. But, of course, you never know. And of course, you still have doubts.
Yeah.
And so even if everybody, feel like it could be crazy this year, we are never sure. But, what we know that maybe, this summer when it's going to be crazy, we say, oh, I knew it would be crazy. I had to do this but then I was doubting, and this is what is crazy in this space. You know that it will happen. You are convinced into that, and this is why you are in this space. But you are still have doubts, of course. And we are so back for me is the way to say, yes, we have doubts, but we believe in our community.
I've heard a sentence today. One person's we are so back is another person's it's so over. And the opposite as well. So
you can also put it
how we can sum it up. How about you, Jonathan?
I mean, when we're hitting all-time highs in crypto, we've got to say we're back for sure. The question is, what about NFTs? And 100%, look at what's going on with like ordinals and like some of these projects that are like pushing the envelope. It's all just the game of attention. And where's the attention now versus where it will be? I believe that as we like continue to bring more people come to the conference that never heard of what a non-fungible token can do and what it can be. As more people come in, we have limited supply of what we consider historical NFTs. And the ones that I'm thinking are all on ETH. And those are the ones that I'm looking at some of these floors and I'm like, dude, I remember watching this one at 10 ETH and now it's on sale for under 5. So it definitely is like,
dude, that's gonna get my pleasure.
It really, I do. I mean, I'm not selling any ETH NFTs because I think that attention is going to come back at another time. But right now, all the attention is looking at ordinals, meme tokens. I mean, Bitcoin's definitely, with the halving coming up, I'm very excited to see how that momentum swings everything. And so sometimes it's good to sit on your hands. Other times it's good to take action. I'm active. The number one action you should always take is just study up, learn as much as you possibly can of what's going on. Where's the attention now? Where do you think it's going to go next? And then sometimes it might be the best move to sit on your hands when you're thinking about selling or doing something silly. So find that healthy balance in life, and I think you'll be very grateful.
Amazing. So
study transitions,
some very
all the dynamics.
Some very valuable lessons right there. I love the term game of attention. I think it's very, very well said. Love that. So speaking about attention, and I think right now to all of our viewers, the attention should be focused on securing your tickets to Non Fungible Conference. And I think we might say, let's create the world of tomorrow today, and the most important part together. So Non Fungible Conference, May 28th to May 30th, if I'm correct. Portugal, Lisbon. Head over to nonfungibleconference.com, and it was really amazing pleasure talking with you. And I don't know, I feel excited and inspired like for the conversations, and I cannot wait until Lisbon. It's been great.
I am excited also, and it's a pleasure to be with you guys, and can't wait to see you in Lisbon. And we are so back.
We are so back. Yeah. And
we are so back.
Let's end with that note. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.